Hey, hello. How
Отлично,
are you doing?
отлично. Все, я нажимаю Go Live. Hello, everyone. My name is Vladimir, and welcome back to the Architecture Weekly YouTube channel. Today, we're discussing will ChatGPT render all the developers obsolete and when we're all going to be fired. And today, with me in my virtual studio, Alexander Granin, who is a Haskell software architect, blogger, and author of the book Functional Design and Architecture, speaker, researcher, literary writer, and a little bit of a IT poet. Welcome, Alexander.
Thank you all. Thank you for having me. Hi, Vladimir.
Hello. So yeah, today we're talking about the ChatGPT thing because it is on the hype right now. Everybody is figuring out what we can do with it. Somebody is actually starting a business using ChatGPT as their CEO. Sounds crazy, but for us, it's more important to understand how it will affect our jobs. So my first question to you will be what is the ChatGPT? As far as I heard, it is a large language model, but what does that actually mean?
Well, yeah, actually, I should notice that neither of us are experts in large language models, right? And everything we know about ChatGPT is like a little bit of information about ChatGPT. But recently, I asked ChatGPT, "What is ChatGPT?" And the system answered that it's indeed a language model that is based on deep learning, and it has some neural network underneath, and it's trained in a certain way, and it's trained on a really massive big amounts of different information. It's mostly text from the internet, but probably not only, because recently ChatGPT number 4 got abilities to interact via images, which is impressive actually. So in general, it's another development of artificial intelligence methods that we've seen for a decade, and it's neural network based, of course. And yeah, it works really impressive. So we can talk about that. Yeah.
I believe, I believe images are just in the closed paid preview, right? So the interface still doesn't have this ability, but there are some tools that provide this capability. Okay, but what are large language models? So what are they essential? What is the data they are trained on?
Well, as far as I know, most of the data is like taken from the internet. For example, ChatGPT itself mentions Wikipedia as a source of some knowledge, and other corpuses of texts from the internet. Maybe it's like posts, articles, books, and etc. Because its knowledge capacity is really wide. It's difficult to find what ChatGPT has no idea about. Actually, it's trained on the corpus collected prior to 2022. So its ability to reason about past years are somewhat limited, right? But it has like a really good sense of what was happening in the internet that time. So I believe they took many different sites, many different materials like posts, books, articles, research papers, code from GitHub, and trained their model using this information. And it knows a lot of things, really.
Yeah, recently I discovered that ChatGPT is quite reasonable about StarCraft, but when I asked for some build orders, it gave me like absolute nonsense. That was really crappy. So, so it's not proficient in that regard, at least. Okay. To your knowledge, so what do people do with ChatGPT? So I'm aware that they use that as as a helper for writing articles, for writing documentation, for code reviews, and some of the people are even using ChatGPT to write the complaints to their host on Airbnb and so on. So what else can it do? What else people do with that?
Yeah, actually, a lot of things. It's difficult to enumerate all the things people do. I believe you had some ideas how to utilize it as well, right? Um, I think we can categorize those things like creativity. People are trying to write posts, write some novels, even books, articles with ChatGPT, and coding, another category, pushing limits of what ChatGPT can do, and trying to find its flaws and vulnerabilities, like to find where it gives some strange answers, or the answers that are in gray zone, for example, in gray moral zones. Also, interesting, people are trying to get money with ChatGPT in different ways. One of the impressive Twitter threads I've seen recently was, "Hey ChatGPT, I have $100, and I will be your liaison in the real world, your representative in the real world. Please compose a strategy of obtaining a lot of money. I'll do everything you will say to do, and we need to get it as soon as possible." And it was a very big success, because the very idea to ask ChatGPT to manipulate by you to or make you orders and do some business is impressive, right? It's like versus not not ChatGPT is our servant, but we are servants of ChatGPT right now.
Yeah. Finally, we got enslaved by the robots. Okay. Yeah, I saw that thread, and the guy immediately received like 20,000 followers. So, like, if not the business, but the media attention will be definitely convertible into money. So, yeah, that's exciting. Okay, but let's get closer to what we're doing to the IT industry. So, how ChatGPT can help developers, like, in general?
Yeah, it was tested on different scenarios, and it turns out a lot of our activities can be either empowered or completely replaced by ChatGPT. For example, the first idea is you can train ChatGPT on your code base and ask different things about the code base. For example, you don't remember what is the right way to utilize some API, and you have no idea. Is there such an API in your code base? You can ask, "Hey ChatGPT, I want to do this stuff, and what are the things I need to consider for my task?" And voila, you have an answer, and maybe even some code written by ChatGPT. Also, of course, you can write some code with it. Like, you ask him, "I want an algorithm of doing this and this in such a language." No problem. It gives you some options, and they can be even compiled and verified. And mostly it works. Sometimes it works with a little tweaks. I, for example, tried some Haskell code. It worked, and it was well written, and it was well described, well explained. If I want to, it's I don't need uh, to understand the whole code, but I can if I want to, right? I can ask him what does it mean, what does it do. Also, people are trying to find places for ChatGPT in the recruitment process. Can we replace our IT recruiters and HRs by ChatGPT or its abilities. And yes, sometimes it works even better. And finally, it doesn't confuse Java and JavaScript.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good progress already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but regarding the code, so I tried it as well. For example, yesterday it was a success because I was experimenting with some pet project, and I had to call a JavaScript function several times, but not more than like 5 or 3 times. And and the code was asynchronous, and instead of inventing it all myself, I just asked it's just, hey, give me the code that will repeat the function not more than like 5 times. And it was perfectly capable of coming up with the JavaScript code that would do exactly that. I tested it; it works fine. So that's super cool. So it really can save you several hours on very relatively easy task, but still. So yeah, that's fine. However, like when it deals with the public API, it frequently messes up the code because like it starts to invent some functions that do not exist or combine the API that doesn't work well together. So you still need to check everything. So it's not like you just asked for the code, it give you put it to IntelliJ IDEA, press compile, Docker container run, and it's in your product. It doesn't work that way yet. So the question
Yeah.
is, though, when it will be capable of, because like, and even if it is feasible with such kind of a model, because I really doubt that it really understands what it's doing. It just generating word by word, keyword after keyword, and so on. So okay, so what is your experience like? How ChatGPT is good with your use cases?
Yeah. Well, I would like to focus on the thing that we have two versions of ChatGPT right now. It's 3.5 and the fourth. The fourth version was orders of magnitude better than 3.5, and probably it hallucinates fewer lesser than the previous version. And also, it seems we can ask not only about small coding tasks, but we can even ask about the whole products. People were showing ChatGPT a picture of what site they want to have, and it provided a full, probably working project for that. Like you can have a form of user interface, you can have interactions in code. ChatGPT composed everything. So this is the direction we see it's moving to, and I believe we are not that far from artificial general intelligence. Maybe a decade, maybe 5 years, maybe 15 years, but we will see probably a real conscious AGI soon. This is my not uh, not a fear, but probably expectation.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Let's talk about this
yeah,
consciousness thing. So, what do
yeah,
you mean by this particular term? So, what does consciousness mean for an artificial intelligence?
yeah. As usual for such terms, we cannot define it because we don't really know is consciousness a real phenomena or it's an illusion we have, or maybe there is no such a thing at all. But in general, I think it we can recognize it has some conscious if it behaves as a regular person, right? If the results are indistinguishable from what you could expect from a person, it's kind of a Turing test, but we don't have anything better than a Turing test for that. To me, it will become conscious, how to say, immediately when it got a loop of uh, back propagation, like when it could feed itself by ideas and thoughts and process those thoughts in a loop and produce results. Not when it's interviewed by us, but when there is a single or maybe multiple processes inside its box that are looping, cycling along his abilities, along his thoughts. Yeah, and we will get it. We'll
You're
get
talking basically about thinking. It's like if you leave it's alone and it starts thinking, like producing something
yeah
in, I don't know, log files or I don't know, other format, and it will, generate something. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Let's hope that it won't come up with the idea that the humanity should be gone for good. Yeah, I
yeah
really hope that doesn't happen, because then we're doomed. But I suppose this is the deal of the some kind of a future. Do you observe any trends on the businesses, considering replacing the programmers with the chat GPT, or just improving the developer productivity with using this tool? Because when the Copilot was introduced by Microsoft, it was like, it's like it's not gonna leave us without the job. It's just gonna augment our work, like static analysis or whatever, right? And what do you think will happen next with the coding jobs?
yeah Actually, I've seen several attempts to integrate ChatGPT into usual development process. For example, I know some IT recruiter from Novosibirsk who is not in Novosibirsk right now. They are trying to delegate several activities of their recruiters to ChatGPT, and it works for sure. For example, examining a massive amount of resumes and CVs and finding a better candidate for a job. That's quite easily automatable. Also, seems Microsoft integrated ChatGPT into Copilot already. I'm not sure about the results. I never tried Copilot, but seems that's inevitable, right? It comes with a better understanding of uh, programming languages than a Copilot, and ChatGPT can do more impressive things than Copilot. I
Yeah,
think, yeah,
One
yeah,
moment. Regarding Copilot,
yeah,
so Microsoft announced yesterday, literally, like if you're watching this online, or if it's recorded, then maybe several days ago, that they're releasing the Copilot X, where ChatGPT is built in, and obviously it should be improved really well, because previously Copilot was just trying to come up with some code snippets by the comments. And right now, like ChatGPT will have the broader context, and will be able to come up with better code, being a large model instead of just some stuff gotten from GitHub.
yeah.
Okay, so but yeah, still the question persists, right? So if the developers will be fired and replaced by ChatGPT, or we'll see some other form of collaboration.
I think it will happen in like 2 decades when we move completely from coding by arms by to coding by verbal communications. That will happen soon, not everywhere, I guess, but it's seems a near future to be a near future. But for now, we can be uh, fine. We have another struggles to find our jobs and to keep with our jobs than ChatGPT, for example. We have a big crisis in our industry right now that is enrolling on our A's, right, in front of our A's. This is a bigger threat to our jobs than ChatGPT, at least for now. Yeah, and I think we need to understand that programming, to me, programming is unnecessarily difficult, and it's like a thing we had to keep up, but maybe it's not the way it could be in the future. Maybe manual programming is not necessary. You don't compose a no laptop from pieces anymore, right? You just use it, and this can be true for programming as well. You should not you can have your product without writing even a line of the code. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that the current macroeconomic situation is a far bigger threat to developers than some tools that can come up with some code. Well, yeah, I would agree, because still the code that ChatGPT is producing, you need to understand if it fits the tasks and then adapt it to the real situation. And also, you can't just dump the whole project into into this machine and say like, hey, improve it in this area, implement this feature, right? So it doesn't work that way yet. We will see what Copilot X will be able to do so. But with this thing, I think a big security risk is being introduced, right? So basically, code for the most companies is the intellectual property and something they don't want to be leaked outside. And yeah, we know Microsoft, big company, can be reliable and so on, but still, this is a risk, especially for the competitors, right? So you won't be wanting to have your code leaked to your competitor, which is kind of possible when you're using a tool from the corporation. So I think that the application of the ChatGPT in the coding thing will be limited, right? So you will be allowed to solve some of the problems with that, but not allowing the whole context of your particular valuable thing to the other company. Okay, so we're still safe. We can expect a boost in productivity, right, in the programmers' jobs, but we're not out of the field yet. So okay, that's a good news. Okay, yeah, you said that you expect the programming paradigm changing to from manual to from writing code to some visual thing or voice-based thing. So how can you please provide an example, like how it will look like?
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, the way we communicate our ideas doesn't matter that much. Either it's text or it's a voice. Although in text you can formulate your idea better, right? Because you can edit it. But still, if we suppose that text and voice are interchangeable, right now you can ask ChatGPT to do impressive things. Like I asked it to help me in building my service in a language that I have no idea about, Ruby on Rails, and it guided me through all the process from installing the tools to writing models and even developing database and relations. The whole scheme of database it developed was quite enough for my task, right? So this is what I asked him in a natural language. I didn't have to uh, do anything, just copy paste things here and there and put into my console and got something working at least. Yeah. And if we extrapolate our current ChatGPT state to the future, then we can expect it understands more and more channels of communication, not only text, not only voice, no voice for now, right? Not only images, but maybe the whole videos of information. I have no doubt in that it will happen. Just needs a lot of resources, right? And the question is how to train ChatGPT on different videos so it could handle it, because videos have much more volume in terms of gigabytes. That's a technical task, and probably we can expect to see the rise of need in storages like data centers and hard drives and etc. because it really needs a lot of resources.
Yeah, exactly. Well, right now ChatGPT is able to handle the videos, so you can drop them a link to the video and ask like, "Hey, give me the summary," and it will be able to do it for every thumbnail, every part that you have in your timeline, and it will provide a short description that you can use. I don't know. Whatever you would like just drop in a description down below the video, or sharing the description with your other folks, or generating an annotation in the newsletter, right? So that would be interesting. Okay. So what I see is that we're shifting from the paradigm of manual coding, and what ChatGPT is doing for us, it's like leveraging the level of abstraction that we need to go. So instead of thinking about every function, we can think more about software architecture, the whole product, right, and how it works, and just delegate, those boring tasks of writing the same, almost the same piece of code over and over again to the machine, and thus automating the job. So that's quite exciting, because it's like literally what the humanity was doing for its whole history, right? Automating manual work to focus on something bigger. What do you think? In what direction it pushes the developers? Will be they closer to business? Will they better understand their own product managers? So how it goes?
I think they will better understand ChatGPT than their managers, because
Oh no.
sometimes managers. You're a manager.
Yeah, I am.
How do you feel?
Scary.
Yeah, I think we will see a need of managers of ChatGPT, and probably they can communicate the ideas in a better form, because managers talk a lot and they can formulate ideas. That's their job. Uh, Maybe developers should learn it too, because we had a need to ask questions in different forms, right? For example, in on Stack Overflow, you should formulate a question in some form. For now, it becomes more sensible, and in some terms more relaxed than that. More sensible because ChatGPT is a bit understands you a bit literally for now. If you ask it a thing, uh, it handles the literal meaning of your message, and probably cannot handle a metaphoric or hidden message in your message. And this is a current limitation of ChatGPT. So you need to formulate your question in a good way.
Well,
But yeah.
I'm not sure, because it is able to
Mhm.
understand humor of the picture. So if you
Mm.
drop them a picture and say like, "What's funny about that?" it will be able to understand. So like the image suggests that, but the actual title and so on. So
Mm.
maybe it's like a little bit more intelligent that we might think. And with a little bit of training, it will be able to guess, like, did you really mean this thing in particular? So yeah, please continue.
Yeah, I guess you feed him a well-known picture, or it was composed right now.
Yeah, well known thing.
Yeah, this is a key moment, because if it's a well-known picture, then probably it has context, that it's funny, that there is a humor of it. A better test will be you compose another humorous thing and feed it. I have some evidence that it doesn't handle metaphoric meaning that much, and it handles it to some degree, but I fed him with my humorous poems about different languages, and asked him, can you please describe what this poem is about? And sometimes it doesn't understand subtle humor or sarcasm embedded into a poem. So yeah, it doesn't have the whole idea of humor in our sense.
Okay, that's good news. So still humans will be required to understand what we're talking about. Okay, that's a good news. Okay, what would you advise to the developers right now? Like how to incorporate ChatGPT in their own work and own life to to have better results.
Yeah, the same thing as I do, and the same thing as other people realize it to do. For example, you can learn things easily with ChatGPT. Just ask him about this or that. You can ask him to provide to compose a whole course on a topic, on a subject, a course on Haskell, easily understandable and well written, easily, like no problem. You can ask him to provide more context on some idea, right? What is concurrency, and how to uh, do it properly in Rust. You can
Oh, yeah.
have a lot of, yeah.
That's nice. So basically understanding what's the difference between concurrency and asynchronous work. Finally, we'll be able to know that.
Yeah, maybe it even knows what's the difference between uh, coroutines and green threads, for example, if there is any. Yeah, also probably you can ask him to write a lot of code instead of you. I didn't try it yet, but people uh, many tasks require a lot of coding, right? Why not automate it? Please compose me a project using this UML diagram. It understands UML diagrams and can compose them well in is ASCII. So just provide him some diagrams and ask to generate templates. Yeah, I know this is a quite known idea, and recently we had many rapid development tools that do kind of this, right? You the idea was you compose a lot of diagrams and then some code is generated for you. This is another level, the level that we can actually say useful, not those tools, but something really useful, because it understands a natural language. You don't have to follow strict UML rules, right? But if you want to, you can.
Okay, so you expect that we will be able to draw some diagram, like sequence diagrams, and say like generate the code that will do that.
It does it. It does. All of them.
Okay, okay, that's great. Like eager to try it out. Okay, what else? I don't know, because in developers' life, there's a lot of things that go in. You're not only writing code; you write tests. I don't
Yeah.
know. You write the documents. You write performance reviews. You write your own performance review, right? So you write letters to your managers and to other peers. So yeah, how we can leverage this artificial intelligence right now?
Yeah, actually, there is one sci-fi novel from our Russian writer. Um, Not, I don't remember its name, his name, but it's about a technology that substitutes all the channels of communication of a person. It substitutes visual communications, verbal communications, and um, even air communications. How to say voice voice and sound, and it takes control over a body and communicates with other people using your body, and you are free to do anything else. For example, while you're investigating surfing through the internet, sitting in your body, and you see the internet in your eyes, the bot that controls your body talks to other people and does your job, and it does it very well because in that novel, and it could even make the person to be advanced, to be promoted to other levels of uh, hierarchy, because it behaves so well, the person could not behave it by himself. So I think we can expect something like that. You say ChatGPT, this is my email. Those people are my colleagues. Please interact with them like it's me. Here is my letters from the past. You can learn my style. You can learn my job. Interact with them, please. Don't bother me, and let them not bother me too. I don't want to know what they are talking about. You can do
Oh my,
it
oh my,
better.
oh my God. But this is a brain dead, right? So like brain is a muscle. You need to train it. And if you delegate like 100% of its capability to a machine, like you stop exercising it. And it's like you're losing your purpose. What are you gonna do instead of your job? Like, I don't know, do drugs, playing games all the time, watching TikToks 24/7. Well, that's scary to me. But I think that some people will find exactly this way of living their lives, like delegating like the most the biggest amount of work to the ChatGPT and thinking as less as possible in order just to watch kitties on the YouTube. And yeah, that's it. That means that there's a danger to the humankind that we will just stop thinking, and that's it.
Well, actually, you can go further. For example, you automated your job and nobody knows it's not you, but rather ChatGPT. Then you thought, okay, I can spend this time to play games, StarCraft, and can learn more skills. But then you think, maybe ChatGPT can do it better, and it will promote me, will make my character so strong that I will be in top of charts. Let it be doing my games. Let it playing. Let it be playing. Then you think, what I should do next? Maybe I can read books and find some useful info. Maybe not, because ChatGPT will do it. Uh, Doing those steps again and again, you will came up to the idea that the only thing you can do now is to think and to try to find nirvana, because what else you can do?
So what you're saying is that ChatGPT will not actually render the developers obsolete. It will render humanity obsolete, because we will have to just provide electricity to the ChatGPT and everything else can be done with it. Like, why bother?
Yeah,
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 but maybe then we will find time to finally go to Mars and to other stars. So
and to die there,
yeah, and to that
and
there.
to die on Mars.
Yeah. One limitation actually is that actually ChatGPT cannot do the thing that wasn't solved by a human beforehand, right? So if you ask it like, how would I build an engine to go with a, with a speed of light, it won't be able to give you a sensible answer, because like there's no such knowledge. So it cannot invent things. It just learn from the existing knowledge. So yeah, at least scientists are not going anyway, or machine learning engineers, right?
Or not, because I have links on attempts to demand to ask ChatGPT compose new things, uh, new kinds of cure, for example, cure for cancer, and they got some results. They got some new chemicals they had no idea about. They need to test it. Maybe there is something even in science that ChatGPT could automate. For example, in biochemistry, you need to rotate different chemicals to find its properties, right? Uh, right now, there are a lot of methods how to do that and how to estimate what properties those chemicals will have. Maybe ChatGPT can do it in own way,
Well,
right?
but still, this is a task that we clearly envision the results, and we have already the methods how it can be possibly achieved, right? So it's still automating of the knowledge that the humanity possesses already. So yeah, well we'll see. I think it goes so fast that like next 3 months, next half a year will be astonishing from the perspectives of the results. But the only thing that concerns me is that like the open AI, like they called themselves, they changed the direction completely. They said like no open, no more, right? So we're closed now. It's so powerful that we won't be disclosing anything from now on. And this is a sad thing. But yeah, we'll see. So from my perspective, ChatGPT is definitely what internet, World Wide Web made to the humanity. So this is the next step. And like, we'll see what will happen with that.
Yeah, we can do observations and take notes, because it's a very interesting time, right? Have you noticed that how many things happened during your lifetime that are game changers, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's literally maybe the second thing. So first one was the mobile revolution when everybody got a smartphone, and right now everybody is getting an AI helper for them. So yeah, so
yeah,
even if it's not scary, it's definitely interesting.
yeah. I would name several things though: computers and informational technology, and shift to the informational society. And
Okay.
therefore, then World Wide Web, aka Internet. Then, of course, widespread technologies like mobile phones, and now artificial intelligence, and probably it's only the first step that we will see soon, and maybe artificial general intelligence is what expects on us in the future.
Yeah. It's definitely only the first step. I agree 100%. Okay, so do you want to, I don't know, tell our viewers anything else, like give a general advice or just wish something? Hey, I lost you. Alexander experiencing some connection issues. Let me ping him real quick. Well, looks like we lost him. Hopefully ChatGPT didn't eat him completely, but yeah. So I think that's a good moment to say thank you very much. Thanks for listening to this thing. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. And if you have any comments or topic to discussion, please leave a comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because every week I'm interviewing with somebody from the IT industry and we're discussing interesting topics. Thank you very much. See ya next week.